Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License Lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees are not. They're even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Talking with R&J, I am Steve Risser along with Justin D'Onofrio, and we have a special Friday edition of Sports Talk with R&J this week. And we will start with what happened last night. Week 8 kicked off last night with the Bucks and the Bills. The Bills winning 24-18 over the Bucks, and the Bills pretty much controlled the game. Yes, Josh Allen had that bad interception in the second quarter. The Bills pretty much controlled the game. Bucks scored a late touchdown. They did have a chance at the end, but Bills go to 5-3. Bucks go to 3-4. I think we know what the Bucks are. They're a below-average team with a bad head coach and a journeyman quarterback. So we know what the Bucks are. But the biggest mystery of this NFL, one of the biggest mysteries of this NFL season is, who are the Buffalo Bills? Are they a Super Bowl contender, or are they a team that can miss the playoffs? Early on, they look like we'll go back to week 1. They kind of look like a team that might miss the playoffs. They lost to the Jets with Zach Wilson. Then they ripped off 3 straight wins, and they looked like one of the best teams in the AFC. But then the last 3 weeks, they go out to London. They lose to the Jaguars. They beat the Giants, but barely. And they lose to the Patriots. I mean, the last 4 weeks. The last 4 weeks, they lose to the Patriots, and then last night they hold on to beat the Bucks. So the big question with the Bills right now is, and they have been Super Bowl contenders the last 3 years. But the big question is are they Super Bowl contenders this year? And even with the loss they've had on defense with Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White. I still think they are, because of the quarterback they have. Josh Allen is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he's healthy right now. I think he's playing banged up. He injured his shoulder again last night. Their running game is very inconsistent, but they still have probably one of the best combos in the league with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Their defense is not great, because we saw that last week with Mac Jones driving down the field to beat them. So their defense isn't great, but it's still pretty good. So I would say yes. I would say the Bills are Super Bowl contenders.
I'm going to say no right now.
Ooh.
With all the injuries they have defensively, I could see this team being 9-8, 10-7. Because you look at their upcoming schedule. They got at Cincinnati, who's starting to play better, coming up next week. They got the Broncos to win that. The Jets at home, at Eagles before a bye, where they play the Chiefs on the road, home against Dallas. They play the Chargers. Like, that's not an easy schedule. And right now, like, unless they make some moves this trade deadline coming up on Tuesday, I could see, and Hector's comments here, Buffalo struggle on the road. Yeah, they did not play well last week in New England. They woke up kind of late there. But yeah, Mac Jones was able to come back with that game-winning drive there late. But right now, yeah, I think Buffalo's like a 9-8, 10-7 team, and I don't think they're winning 3 straight games to get to a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to count them out. I still think I know the coach is kind of in question there. I mean, he might be on the hot seat for the way they've been playing this year, but the quarterback is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And with him healthy, I still think they contend for Super Bowl. Yeah, they might not win that division, but I still think they get into the playoffs. I know their schedule is tough, so I still think they get into the playoffs. And if you get into the tournament, you never know. So even though they haven't been playing well, I still say they are Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Absolutely. Again, like, could this Josh Allen injury? Because yeah, I'm with you. He's definitely not healthy. There's throws that he usually makes that he's not at the moment. This could maybe linger on all year, like something where, like, in the off season, it's like, okay, he needed, he's playing through something where he needs surgery. Like, I think, that could be a possibility. They're so bad on third and short too, or like near the red zone. They're so bad in those areas, and they punted 4 times last night in the fourth quarter, or late third quarter, fourth quarter, all in Bucks territory.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think, I think they really miss Daboll as a play caller right now. I don't think Ken Dorsey's doing that great of a job. Like, and we've seen this team kind of fizzle out in the postseason. And I know, they're not kind of built to play in Buffalo in January, but I still like, this team really hasn't proved it to me yet, really, in the playoffs. And now you might have to go win a couple on the road where they've struggled to kind of take care of business at home at times. I don't, I could, yeah, with Josh, if you give me a healthy Josh Allen in the month of January, maybe, but right now I just don't see it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, they still got to play Cincinnati. They play Cincinnati next week. They still got Kansas City. They still got Philly. They still got Dallas on that schedule. So it's a tough. It's definitely, and they still got to go to Miami. So their next 9 games are going to be it's a tough schedule. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Bills. I just have faith that I just think that Josh Allen is going to be able to at least figure out a way to get into the playoffs. And in my opinion, once you get in the tournament, you have a chance. So I do think they are contenders, but we'll see what happens in the coming weeks with the Bills. But we will move on to the Battle of New York between the Jets and the Giants. And this is a very interesting game between these two teams. It looks like it is that Daniel Jones is not going to play this week again. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor. We'll see about Andrew Thomas. We'll see about Wan'Dale Robinson. We'll see about Darren Waller. And then on the other side for the Jets, I mean, they look like they're going to have DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner back. So this is going to be a low-scoring game. The weather's going to be good, actually, at MetLife on Sunday, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Seeing the way both defenses are playing, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think that the team that runs the football better and the team that forces more turnovers is going to win the game. And I think that team's going to be the Giants. I do think the Jets, the one weakness of the Jets defense is their run defense. You saw Dallas run the ball well against them. You saw Kansas City run the ball well against them. You saw New England run the ball well against them. I know they've done a good job stopping the run in recent weeks, but the Jet defense, that is the one weakness of the Jet defense. So I do think Saquon will have a pretty good game on the ground. I do think Taylor will manage this game, and I do think the Giants defense is going to force a turnover or 2 from Zach Wilson, and I think that's ultimately going to be the difference in the game. Because I think the Giants come out with this win. I think it comes right down to the end with the ball in Zach Wilson's hands and them not getting it done. I got the Giants winning this game 17-13 over the Jets. But Justin, can the Jets defense carry them to their 3rd straight win?
I get the Giants as well. 20-17. I thought last week they Giants did play better. Especially defensively. I know, in the offense, I know they only scored 14 points, but I thought the offense did look, better than it has. And yeah, I think, with Zach Wilson, the Jets really haven't put him in much of a situation right now. Or, last week he didn't really turn the football over. Like, they're trying to kind of, he's been limiting more of the mistakes. But yeah, I think the Giants are able to do enough on the ground game. I think the Jets are going to get after Tyrod Taylor more than likely, who's probably going to be the starting quarterback. And they got like Jalen Hyatt. The Giants got Hyatt involved last week. Like, I think maybe the Giants are starting to play a little bit better. I know 3-3. Like if the Jets took going 3-3 on in the going in the bye week with even Aaron Rodgers, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. But I think the Giants kind of figured something out, and I think they find a way yet again this week at home to knock off the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this defense has played really, really well. I mean, they played really well in Buffalo, and they played really well last week. And they played pretty well against Seattle. They forced turnovers against Miami. I think this defense is figuring it out. I mean, their pass rush was really good last week with Thibodeau, with Lawrence, with Leonard Williams. Okereke's been playing great. Deontay Banks has been playing great. So this defense has played really well, really well. But I'm going to say one thing about this game. If one of these teams is up by more than a field goal with 2 minutes to go left in the game, that team's going to win because neither one of these quarterbacks is going to lead a game-winning drive. If say the Giants, like I think the Giants are up 17-13 late, I think with 2 minutes to go, they're going to win the game. If the Jets are up 20-16 late, they're going to win the game. It's really whatever team has the lead late is probably going to win this football game because neither of these quarterbacks are going to lead a game-winning drive. If you need to score to win the game, neither of these quarterbacks are going to get it done.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, like I don't trust either of these quarterbacks. Maybe Zach Wilson throws up a ball and Garrett Wilson makes an unbelievable catch. That's about like the only kind of thing I would see, or the only chance like one of those two quarterbacks have a chance here to lead a game-winning drive. Because yeah, both quarterbacks I just don't trust right now. And I know the Giants' offensive line probably played their best game last week. Tyrod Taylor had a little bit more time than he's had of late, and it's going to be tough. I think because you mentioned too the Giants pass rush. Like I think both quarterbacks they got to drive down the field. I don't know how much time their offensive line is going to give them to make to let some of those wide receivers get deep and try to make a big play.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. And this should be a really, really competitive game between these two teams. It should be a fun game between these two teams with the Battle of New York this week. But another question with the Giants right now is Daniel Jones, and we know he's going to miss this week. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter. The big question with Daniel Jones is when he's ready to should he be the starter when he's ready to play? And I definitely think he should. Yeah, everybody says Tyrod Taylor's been playing well. He's done a really good job managing the game. But the Giants have only scored 23 points in 2 weeks. Daniel Jones put up 31 and a half this year. So I definitely think Jones should be the starter. I don't even think it should really be a conversation. I know people have been talking about it. I don't think it should really be a conversation. But I just wanted to bring it up. I definitely think Jones should be the starter when he's ready to play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think so too. I know the Giants. They did win last week, but like it's not like this offense is world beaters right now. Like it's still really a work in progress type thing. Yeah, Tyrod, but Tyrod, he's a good back. Like he's a good backup quarterback. He won't make too many mistakes. He'll keep you into it. And yeah, you mentioned he's a game manager. And yeah, with Jones coming back again, you have I know it's only you could get out of that contract in 2 years of you're the Giants, but you're paying him Daniel Jones $40 million a year. If healthy, I don't think you could keep him out unless if he's really, really bad and just is absolutely costing you games, which I know he hasn't been great this year, but it hasn't been all on him. So I agree with you. Daniel Jones right now is still the better option.
Absolutely. Should be an interesting game between the Jets and Giants this week. A game I think that the Giants definitely have to win. I think the Jets have to too if they want to get wild card spots. But we'll move on to an AFC East matchup in Miami as the Patriots, coming off a win last week, faced the Dolphins, coming off a loss last week. So 2-5 Patriots, 5-2 Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins trying to beat the Patriots for the 6th straight time. And I think this game, this game isn't that close. I think Tua has a big day. I know Jalen Waddle won't play, but this is the Dolphins at home. They've not been held under 30 points at home all year long. They put up 70 against the Broncos, 42 against the Panthers, and then 31 against the Giants. They have not been held under 30 points in a home game this year. And I think it's the same thing on Sunday. The Patriots, what happens when they go down to Miami? They struggle. I think they struggle again. I think Tua has a big game. He throws 2 or 3 touchdown passes. I do think Mac Jones competes in this game. He throws a touchdown pass or 2, but I do think the Dolphins force a turnover or 2 from Mac Jones. I think this game isn't as close as the final score. I think that they made the Patriots score a late touchdown. And I got the Dolphins and Tua. I got Tua beating the Pats for the 6th straight time. I got the Dolphins winning 34-20 over the Patriots. But Justin, can Mac Jones and the Patriots get revenge for what happened in week 2?
I don't think they do this week. I think they keep it close. So I got the Dolphins 27-20. Last week, Bill O'Brien, I thought, called his best game of the year. Mac Jones, that looked like rookie year Mac Jones. Michael Onwenu moving over to right tackle. That offensive line played really, really well last week. They finally got Pop Douglas involved. Kendrick Bourne had a couple of catches. Again, that's what happens when you finally get some receivers that can get open. I know Buffalo played a ton of zone, but Mac Jones was able to kind of make some plays last week because guys actually got open for him. Miami's defense is not world beaters, and I know Adam Schefter tweeted out yesterday that Ramsey's going to play, but Ramsey kind of said I don't know where you're getting that information from. Maybe Ramsey's trying to pull a fast one, but
yeah,
it doesn't sound like according to Ramsey, I don't think he's going to give it a go. I know how healthy is Tyreek Hill right now. I think Christian Gonzalez did a great job on Hill week 2. He's not, obviously he's out for the remainder of the year. He won't be playing. But I think the Patriots will limit the big play. And I think they try to kind of control the clock in this one. Miami's defense is not great. I think Mac Jones does play well again. And I think it's a huge confidence booster for him after last week where people are walking in that stadium with bags over their head saying some, will not say it on the air, but on their shirt about Mac Jones. That was a big game for him to kind of quiet the, benching Mac kind of fans out there. But look, I think they keep this thing close. I know they've really showed the Miami. Even when Tom Brady was there, they always felt, always found a way to lose Miami. I think they keep it close. I think last week was kind of like hey, I don't think they're as bad as they were against Dallas and New Orleans, but I don't think they're as great as last week. I think they're somewhere in the middle, and I do think they'll keep this thing close.
Yeah, last week proved that they weren't one of the worst teams in the NFL. I mean, and last week also proved that Mac Jones has a chance to be a franchise quarterback in this league. You saw that throw on 3rd and 8 when Epinesa was in his face. That throw to Gesicki, that was a humongous throw. That's a big boy throw right there. That's a humongous throw. So last week proved that the Patriots aren't the worst team in football, and that Mac Jones does have a chance, still has a chance to be the guy there. It's a small chance, but he still has a chance to be the guy there.
Yeah, he has a small chance. Again, they finally kind of tailed the offense a little bit more. I thought O'Brien with the screen plays, I thought they did a good job of making sure Mac they were running routes where Mac could get the ball out quickly. And and again, they didn't beat themselves last week. That's something they've been doing all year. Even like Mac, I know that one kind of strict sack
they did have that fumble though.
Yeah, they did. That was that Bourne fumble was costly, but other than that, they didn't really beat themselves. I don't think they had any false starts, but they've had a ton the first couple of weeks. So yeah, I thought they were a lot better last week. I thought Mac, they just didn't beat themselves offensively, and they got off to a nice fast 10-0 start. The last time they started that fast was probably the Thanksgiving game last year against the Vikings. I don't recall a faster start since then. So that's kind of what happens, and they kind of slowed in. And I think the defense got confidence there, and yeah, Mac still has a chance. It's small. But yeah, that was huge for him to kind of prove it to everybody that he's got, that there's something still left and something you can kind of work with there.
Absolutely. So we'll move on to one of the biggest games of the weekend, and we got the Bengals facing the Niners. It looks like Brock Purdy's not going to play. It's going to be Sam Darnold. But I do think the difference in this game is going to be the 49ers are going to run the ball much better than the Bengals will. I think McCaffrey's going to have a huge day on the ground, and I think that's going to set up play action for Sam Darnold. I think he throws a couple touchdown passes. I think he does a good job in Brock Purdy's place this week. And I do think the pressure the Niners are going to put on Joe Burrow is going to force a turnover. And that's why I got the Niners winning this game 24-20 over the Bengals. But Justin, can Burrow hand the Niners their 3rd straight loss?
No, I don't think he does this week. I got the Niners as well, 24-16. I know the Niners defense against the Vikings Monday night was not very good. And the Niners are so good on 3rd down, especially 3rd and long. And Kirk Cousins made some big plays on 3rd down. I think this Niners team is, even without Brock Purdy, I think they're too talented to lose 3 straight games. I'm with you. I think the way the Bengals, they really struggle to run the football. I think the Niners kind of slow that down. I think Burrow will make some plays. They're coming off the bye. I still don't know how mobile he is. Like, if the Niners can get pressure on him, which I think they will, I think they could struggle to kind of move the ball here. And I think Sam Darnold plays well enough under Kyle Shanahan. They went after him like the first day of the free agency. So, I think with Kyle Shanahan, I think he tailors the game plan well enough for Sam Darnold to be successful. And I think they make more plays than the Bengals this week.
We got a matchup in Jerry World as the Rams head to Jerry World to face the Cowboys. And I think McVay kind of keeps this close early. I think he schemes some stuff up. He gets the ball to Nakua. They run the ball pretty well early in the game. But I think the problem is going to be late in the game because I do think Dak's going to have a good game too. I think Cowboys going to be able to run the ball. I think Dak throws a couple touchdown passes. But I think the difference in this game is Dak won't make the mistakes that Stafford make. I think Stafford's going to make some mistakes late in this game that is going to hurt the Rams. And that's why I got the Cowboys going to 5-2. I got the Cowboys beating the Rams 30-20. But Justin, can McVay go to Jerry World and lead the Rams to an upset win?
It's gonna be difficult. I got the Cowboys 24-20 here. I think the Rams offensively have been they were way too predictable. I thought last week. It felt like every time on first and second down they ran the football, and it kind of forced them to be third and long. And they got to be. I know McVay loves to like establish that running game, but you got to be a little bit better. You got to be a little bit more unpredictable there on first and second down. They can do that. I could see them having some success there because Dallas secondary, they struggled a little bit without Trevion Diggs. It's still solid defense. I think Cooper Kupp could have a pretty good game, and I think they could scheme something up for him. They may have difficulty slowing him down, but I think the Cowboys' offense is just going to be able to do a little bit too much, and the Rams won't be able to keep up with the Cowboys.
NFC East matchup in Landover, Maryland, as the Eagles travel to Landover to face the Commanders. And I don't think this game is close. I think that I know the first meeting was close. I don't think this meeting will be close. I think Jalen Hurts has a good game. I think that DeAndre Swift has a good game on the ground. I think they get a lot of pressure on Sam Howell. They force some turnovers on Sam Howell. And I don't think Jonathan Allen's message is going to work this week. I think that I've heard reports that the Commander players are not happy with Ron Rivera, and I think the issues continue this week. I got the Eagles winning this one big. I got to win it at 30-13. But Justin, you got the Commanders giving the Eagles another game.
I always do. Like, I know that right now the Commanders in that locker room, there's a lot of things going wrong, and yeah, if they do get blown out this week, I think this could be the final straw there for Ron Rivera, in his stay in Washington here. But look, they always do, and I know Hurts was not listed on the injury report yesterday, but he was not healthy Sunday. He came out in that second half with that knee brace on his left knee. I don't totally buy that he's 100% right now. Maybe he will be, but I have to see it first Sunday. If Sam Howell can kind of get rid of the ball quickly, if they can kind of establish somewhat of a running game. I know the enemy has not really done that much at all this year, but if they can do that, they always play the Eagles tough. I think they'll be able to kind of keep this game close. I think the Commanders will have some success, offensively moving the ball. Can they make enough stops? I don't think they will, and I think the Eagles' talent is just going to be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are the better team. I think they're clearly the better team. I think they're going to prove that on Sunday. But we got an AFC matchup in Pittsburgh as the Jaguars face the Steelers. And I think this is a really competitive game between these two teams. But I think the difference in this game is going to be, I think Jacksonville's going to run the football a little bit better. And I think, and obviously Jacksonville has the better quarterback. I think that Trevor Lawrence has a pretty good game. I think he throws a couple touchdown passes. And I do think the Jaguar defense forces a turnover or two against Kenny Pickett, and they contain Najee Harris on the ground. And that's why I got the Jaguars going to 6-2, winning this game. I got them winning it 24-19 over the Steelers. But Justin, can Pickett lead the Steelers to their fourth straight win?
No, I got Jacksonville knocking them off this weekend, 24-17. Both teams kind of survived last week. Jacksonville on that Thursday night, the Saints. The Steelers got very fortunate to knock off the Rams last Sunday. They're Pittsburgh's offense is just so brutal to watch right now. It just kind of feels like let's just throw it up to George Pickens and see if he can make a play. I'm not a big Matt Canada was never great at any of his college stops. He's not. I don't think he's a great offensive coordinator. We've kind of been seeing it. And I just think that, and I think this week, again, they kind of struggle to get anything going against the Jacksonville defense, who is very good at stopping the run. Maybe we get some screens from Jalen Warren, catches a couple screens, maybe has a couple big plays. But I think Jacksonville is able to kind of limit George Pickens enough. I think Pickett makes a couple interceptions this game, and I'll take Jacksonville to go on the road and knock off Pittsburgh.
We have an NFC North matchup in Green Bay as the Vikings travel to Green Bay to face the Packers. And I think this is, again, a close divisional game that comes down to the end. But I'm going to take the better quarterback here. I think both teams are going to struggle to run the football. I think both teams could turn the ball over once or twice, but I'm going to take the better quarterback here and the better defense. It's crazy I'm saying the Vikings have a better defense than the Packers, but the way Brian Flores' defense is played, it is. And I'm going to take better quarterback and better defense. I got the Packers beating the Vikings 23-17. But Justin, can Jordan Love help the Packers snap their 3-game losing streak?
No, if you can't move the ball against Denver's putrid defense, I don't know. But I know Vikings and Brian Flores, the way that he's got this defense going. I got the Vikings this one 21-17. I think the Vikings defense has been phenomenal. Ford's done a great job. He's fixed it quicker than I thought. I know they're coming off a very physical game against the Niners. And I think Jordan Love yet again makes a couple interceptions. I think the Vikings are going to get after him, and I think he'll make some mistakes in this game. And the Packers too have kind of gone off to some slow starts, and I don't think that's going to help them. And Daniel Hunter, I know he's probably not going to win Defense Player of the Year just because of the other T.J. Watt. You got Micah Parsons, and yeah. So, but he's a guy that. He's already got 9 sacks. So he's a guy that should be in that conversation for the way he's been playing this year. But I love that the Vikings defense right now is playing well. I think Cousins makes enough plays. And right now at the Packers, LaFleur. I know a couple weeks ago we talked, who was better, Campbell or LaFleur. And I kind of tried to stand up for LaFleur, and that was a dumb mistake by me. He's horrendous, and he's so bad. There's just been no adjustments all year. And I got the Vikings win another one and right back in the playoff conversation.
You got an interconference matchup in Tennessee as Will Levis, the pride of Connecticut. We grew up in Middletown. We grew up in Madison, Connecticut. Played at Middletown. He'll get his first NFL start against the Falcons. I don't know if he's going to start, but he's definitely going to play against the Falcons this week. But for this game, I feel like Atlanta controls this game. This is a game that Atlanta controls on the ground with Bijan Robinson. I don't think Ritter makes mistakes. I think the defense for the Falcons forced a couple turnovers from Levis and Malik Willis. And I got the Falcons going to 5-3. I got them winning this game 20-13 over the Titans. But can the Titans snap their 3-game lose? But Justin, can a bye week help the Titans snap their 3-game losing streak?
Yeah, I think I get Titans in this one 17-14. Coming off the bye. I think, if Levis plays in this one, I think, they put him in a spot where it's successful, quick passes, just try and get the ball out quickly in this one. And I think Derrick Henry could have a big run here to kind of, early on help kind of boost that offense early. And I think the Titans defense has been good against the run. I know they've struggled in the secondary. Ritter definitely has been throwing the ball better, but the red zone kind of woes there. The 2 fumbles last week, like they got to clean up in the red zone. I think they have another turnover in there this week. And I think, Vrabel is a home dog. Usually this is a game he's pretty good at pulling out here. I know, Arthur Smith is former OC. There's a lot of familiarity with both coaches. And I think at home, Tennessee finds a way to knock off Atlanta.
Another matchup where the NFC South is playing the AFC South, and we got the Saints traveling to Indy to face the Colts. And I think this game is close and competitive, but I do think the Saints do a good job containing the run game of the Colts, which will force Minshew to turn the ball over a couple times. And I do think that Kamara has a pretty good game on the ground too. I think Carr manages the game. I think the Saints get to 4-4. They win this one 24-17. But Justin, can Indy's run game run them to their fourth straight win, to their fourth win of the season?
Yeah, I get the Colts in this one as well. Or I get the Colts 23-20. There's a lot of issues right now in New Orleans. Especially with that offense, it just kind of Carr kind of got into it with Olave in the first half last week. Carr's just been really just checking everything down. And it's like quick, like it's like within 2-3 seconds. He's not even really letting his wide receivers get downfield. But and I think Indianapolis will have success on the ground with you know with Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. I think they do a good job on the ground game, and I think Gardner Minshew makes enough plays. They tore up that Cleveland defense last week, and the Saints defense. Last week they weren't really that impressive either. So I think Gardner Minshew at home again. I think they find a way to knock off New Orleans. I don't love this team right now. They're not playing well. I think there's some issues, and I think Indianapolis takes advantage of that at home, knocks them off.
We got, and again, another AFC South versus NFC South matchup as the Texans take on the Panthers this week. And we got a battle of the two number one picks with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. And obviously, I'm going to take the top pick that's playing better. I'm going to take the number 2 overall pick, C.J. Stroud. I think he does a better job protecting the football in this game. He throws a couple touchdown passes. I do think the Texans defense forces a couple of mistakes from Bryce Young. I don't think the Panthers get their first win this week. I got the Texans going to 4-3, beating the Panthers 23-16. But Justin, can Bryce Young get his first win against the guy he was taking against the guy he was taken against the guy that went number 2 in his draft class?
I'm going to Texans 23-21. I see your friend Hector here. He's got the upset alert with the Panthers.
Upset alert. Yeah. Upset alert there.
I know Frank Reich gave up his offensive play calling. Maybe that helps Bryce Young out in this one. But I think Stroud's going to have success through the air against his defense, and I think Dameon Pierce gets it going on the ground. Because I know Texans have kind of struggled a bit to get that running game going with Pierce, and I think they play better this week. And I think Texans moved to 4-3 coming off a bye. CJ Stroud's done a really good job protecting the football. I think his offensive line gives him enough time to even find Nico Collins in this game. I think he'll have a big one. And I think Texans move to 4-3 this week.
You got an interconference matchup in Seattle as the Browns travel all the way to Seattle to face the Seahawks. And I think this is a really, really close competitive game between these two teams. I think it's a defensive struggle. I think Seattle's defense has definitely played better this year. The play of Devin Witherspoon, the play of Bobby Wagner definitely made a difference for this defense. And we know the Browns defense. I know they had a rough week last week, but they played really well too. I think it's a defensive struggle. I think there's not a lot of points in this game, but I'm going to take the quarterback I trust more. And I trust Geno Smith more than I trust PJ Walker. And that's why I'm going to take Seattle to go to 5-2 and the Browns go to 4-3. I got the Seahawks winning this 20-17. But Justin, can the Browns defense carry them to their third straight win?
Yeah, I get Cleveland 20-16 in this one. I got Myles Garrett. I think is going to have a couple sacks in this game. Geno Smith, I think, holds on the football way too long. I think and I think Cleveland gets after him. I think that defense, has a bad taste in their mouth after what happened last week. And I think they come out looking for blood. And I think Cleveland, they're going to force a couple turnovers. And yeah, PJ Walker isn't great. I know he played well last week, but I think he does a good job managing the football. I think Seattle's defense will make it tough, but I think he protects the football well enough. And I think that Cleveland defense makes another kind of huge play in this game. And really and helps Cleveland kind of bounce back this week. And I get Cleveland going up to the 12th man and knocking off Seattle.
Got an AFC West matchup in Denver. These teams played a couple weeks ago. I think they played like 2 or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think. The Chiefs and the Broncos are playing again. And I think this game's going to be more of a blowout this time. I think Pacheco will have a big day in the ground. Mahomes will throw 2 or 3 touchdown passes. I think the Chiefs defense forces some turnovers from Russell Wilson. And I think this is a blowout. I got the Chiefs winning it 31-13 over the Broncos. But Justin, is there any way Wilson can pull off a major upset here?
I don't think so. I got the Chiefs 27-14. There's Wilson again, their defense stinks. Wilson's just not the same guy anymore. They got a win last week, but their defense played better, but it was thanks to Jordan Love last week. And I don't think that's gonna happen this time. I think the Chiefs offense, they could, they're in the first half, they looked really good last week against the Chargers. Second half, not so much. But I think that the way the Chiefs defense is playing, I think it's going to be a hard time for Denver to kind of move the ball in this one. And I think Wilson makes a couple turnovers in this one. And I think Chiefs win by at least 2 scores.
We got the Ravens traveling to Arizona to face the Cardinals, and I think the Ravens win this one easy. I know Kyler Murray, yes, he practiced this week, but he's not going to play. I think the Ravens win this one easy. I think they run the ball. I think Lamar throws a couple touchdown passes. I think their defense plays really well. I got the Ravens cruising here 34-13, and Justin, I assume you got the same.
Yeah, I got Ravens 27-13. Ravens offense looked awesome last week. I think they scored 21 points before Detroit even got a first down last week. That play action game last week was on point. It kept the Lions guessing pretty much every single play, and their defense was phenomenal. And you even think, like, even for the Ravens, that game against Pittsburgh, they could have put up 40. They just had so many drop passes. They had the kind of turnovers in the red zone. Like, that game shouldn't have been close either. Like, the Ravens really could be sitting here, undefeated at the moment. So I got the Ravens going into Arizona and knocking off the Cardinals. Yeah, like, I think Josh Dobbs and that team, they'll fight like they have in the first half, but they just don't have the depth to compete for 60 minutes. And now that's what's going to happen this one. And then Baltimore pulls away in the second half.
All righty, we got Sunday Night Football. I don't know why it's a Sunday night game. We got the Bears and the Chargers going at it. I think it doesn't look like Justin Fields is going to play. I just don't think it's the game Brandon Staley can blow. And I think it's the game the Chargers win going away. I think the Chargers win this one going away 30-10. I think Herbert has a big game. I think they force some turnovers on defense. I got the Chargers winning this one 30-10 over the Bears. But Justin, is there any way Brandon Staley could blow this game for the Chargers?
I could see. I could totally, knowing him, and I got the Chargers 28-17. And if he does blow this, I would think that he's fired on Monday morning or Sunday night. I can't imagine he survived if they lose this football game. Tyson Baggett, he played he had a lot of success. He took what the defense gave him because for whatever reason, Las Vegas did not blitz at all last week. I think that's a different story with who the Chargers have up front and some of the names they got in that secondary. I think it's going to be a much different story. And I think Justin Herbert's going to have a really good game through the air. And I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. You got, Quentin Johnson kind of got involved last wech. And I think Chargers do enough to slow down the running game. Dante Foreman had a monster game last week against Las Vegas. I don't think he's going to be able to have the same success this week. And I think Chargers win by 2 scores.
We have an interconference matchup on Monday Night Football in Detroit as the Raiders travel to Detroit to face the Lions. And I think the Lions bounce back in a huge way this week. I think they run the ball well. I think Goff throws 2 or 3 touchdown passes. I think they force some turnovers from Jimmy Garoppolo. Looks like he's going to play. The Raiders are a mess right now. I know they have 3 wins, but they are a mess. I wouldn't be surprised if I would be shocked if Josh McDaniels doesn't last the season. I got the Lions winning this game 34-10. And here's the big question. If the Raiders get blown out here on national television, could this be it for Josh McDaniels?
Probably should. A couple weeks, was it the I think it was a Patriot game. It was after one of McDaniels. I think ended up kicking instead of going for it on a 4th and short. Like, you could kind of see Davis. You can lip read his frustrations, in the box. So I wouldn't be surprised they get blown out again. I get the Lions 23-13. I think they bounce back big time. Dan Campbell. And I think Jimmy G is going to have time. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quickly to avoid Aiden Hutchinson and that Detroit defense. I think just like kind of Cleveland, the way they played last week, I think they're going to come out and just looking to make an absolute, making sure, trying to make Jimmy G's life look absolutely miserable. And I think they do a good job of that. And I think Detroit bounces back. I think Raiders defense will keep them in it, but I get the Lions winning by 10 points.
Yeah, it should be a blowout in Detroit Monday night. But we got the Fall Classic starting tonight. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEG's Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Begins tonight between have an uninspected World Series. We got the Diamondbacks against the Rangers, and you look at the Diamondbacks stunning everyone. Mad Dog's got to retire. I mean, he said he would after the Diamondbacks won 2 straight, and they did. They went into Philadelphia, stunned everyone going into Philadelphia and winning 2 straight. And because we remember being here last week saying we didn't even think they were going to win a game, and then we got the Rangers who lost 3 straight at home, but then they ended up. They ended up winning that series against the Astros. So we got the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series. We'll start with the Rangers and what they need to do to win this series. And number one, Garcia's just got to continue to be outstanding. Garcia's got to continue to be outstanding and have continued to be hot. Because Garcia, you saw Seager in Game 7 hitting that big home run, and then Garcia, just unreal. 4 home runs and 12 RBIs in the last 3 games. He's just been absolutely phenomenal. He's been an absolute monster these last 3 games. So if those guys stay hot, I think the Rangers are going to be in really good shape. Number 2, Montgomery and Eovaldi, the ex-Yankees and Red Sox, got to keep anchoring the rotation. Montgomery and Scherzer just keep anchoring the rotation. They've been really good all postseason. So if they keep doing that, the Rangers will be in good shape. And then number 3, their bullpen still has to be really good. They really had one slip-up all postseason with that Game 5 against the Astros. It looked like it might cost them the series, but they really had one slip in the postseason. Aroldis Chapman has pitched really, really well being the setup man there. So I know Aroldis Chapman, Jordan Montgomery, all of our players are doing well in Texas. Thanks, Cashman. But yeah, I mean, I think if all those things happen, I think that the Rangers have a really good chance to win their first World Series in franchise history.
Yeah, for me, I get a couple of the same. So my first one as well is down to the rotation. I know you talked, about Eovaldi and Montgomery, and those two kind of continue to pitch well. I'm gonna go a step further and kind of saying, who's gonna be that third guy? Like Scherzer, I know he's not the same guy. You love to get a good outing from him. I know they haven't, used John Gray hasn't been used a ton here, but could he be, they're like an Andrew Haney. Like they need a third starter here to pitch well, to give themselves a chance here. My second one was also Dolis Garcia continues to say hi. I thought Game 5, after that, the bat flip there, which that was very unnecessary because that thing barely got out. After he got beamed in that scuffle, I was like, oh boy, he kind of woke up Houston, and I figured Texas was in trouble. But he bounced, he answered the bell, he answered the call there, and he was awesome. And he's got to continue to stay hot. And then number 3 for me is for the Rangers, just take care of home field advantage. You lost all 3, as you mentioned, at home. I know, Arizona's not going to be a total hostile environment, but you still got to, they've been so good on the road. You got to be a little bit better at home. And I think if Texas is able to do that, take care of business at home, I think they're looking in great shape here to win the World Series.
Yeah, you brought up 2, that third starter. Scherzer definitely has to be better. He's got to be better if this team wants to win this World Series. I think Scherzer definitely has to be. They went out and traded for him. I know he's came off an injury, but they went out and traded for him. He's got to be better. And yeah, they got to win at home. I mean, usually you don't win a series when you lose 3 straight games at home. So they definitely got to win at home.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Is that the first time? I didn't think about looking this up.
No,
is this
it
like
was
the
the
first
2019
every road
2019 World Series. 2019, the Astros. It was actually the Astros. They lost every home game in that World Series. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's a go. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay. So that's crazy. Yeah, Houston at home. Yeah, that's years I forgot too. Yeah, they did blow game 6 and 7. But yeah, taking care of business there. And Bruce Bochy, what a manager he is, man.
I know.
Just that guy's a winner.
I mean, if he wins another one, I mean, that's 4 championships. That's as many as Joe Torre. As many as Joe Torre.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already He's
be.
already clearly a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
but he's getting into maybe best manager, one of the best managers to ever manage. I mean, 4 World Series, that's crazy. And this is a team that's been terrible the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 2 years ago was it Texas had 60 wins and Arizona had 58 wins?
Yeah.
Like they, Texas spent the money, but yeah, Bochy's come in because what was his name last year? That manager, that guy was Woodward. He was horrendous.
Yeah.
He was bad with the team. So yeah, Bochy's come in. He's definitely put himself in that category of like one of the best managers of all time. He's done a heck of a job, and he's an old school guy too. Like I think you kind of like old school baseball. They don't use a lot of analytics. I know.
Yeah, and the old schools kind of worked.
Yeah.
Dusty Baker with the Astros, the old schools worked. Even though Dusty Baker's going to retire, but the old school has worked. I have to admit it.
Yeah, it does. Like again, I get using some of the analytics, but there's too much. And then with like Arizona, they play a lot of small ball, and that's been huge for them all year. So yeah, both these teams are kind of more old school, which is great. Like, especially like Arizona wins, maybe we'll see more teams go to small ball. But yeah, it's been a great story. These two teams. I know Major League Baseball probably is not going to love the ratings, but look, I think it should be a good, fun World Series. It's two teams that you usually don't see here, and hopefully it should be a fun series.
I think the ratings will actually be higher than they normally would be because I think Game 7 had really good ratings between the Rangers and the Astros. I think the ratings will be. I think they'll be better because of the pace of play, and we'll see. This will be really the test if the pace of play works. If it works, if the ratings are low, then the anti-pitch clock people have a point. If this is one of the highest rated World Series that we've had, and it's these two teams, then the pitch clock people got to stop talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the anti-pitch clock people got to stop talking.
Yeah, the anti, yeah, absolutely. It really hasn't. You really haven't felt that, like that big moment, like the pitch clock has rushed things. I think the 18 seconds with guys on. I think it's been plenty enough time to kind of get that moment in. But Hector's in on the Rangers in 6 here.
Going with the Rangers in 6. He's probably going to be excited. The World Series down in Texas. I mean, I wonder how far do you live from Arlington? I wonder how far he lives from Arlington. But yeah, I mean, yeah. He's a Yankee fan, but he might be rooting for his hometown team. He might be rooting for the team in Texas with the Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet. Yeah, I bet. It's got definitely a cool story down there. And yeah, go back to the pitch clock stuff. I think it's it's worked, and yeah, we'll see what kind of the ratings are. It'd be great for baseball, and it helps too that Sunday's a travel day. Wow, 11 and a half hours. That's
so he lives down near Waco. Yeah.
Yeah, way down.
No,
Is
that 11? Is that 11
or is that 1 and a half? Maybe that's 1.5.
That's 1.5 hours. I think it's 1.
Yeah,
1.5. That's 1.5. So he's only an hour and a half away from Texas. It's from Texas. That's definitely his hometown team down there.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's gonna be cool. A lot of media probably hyped down there for that team. So yeah, definitely gotta be a cool thing right now down to Texas. But yeah, just to finish up there with the pitch clock stuff, I think it's been good for baseball, and I think hopefully the Rangers are good. And I think having the travel day Sunday where you don't have to fight for the NFL's, with the NFL going to be on Sunday night as well, even though it's a bad game and maybe it would have helped baseball a little bit with how poor that game Sunday night's going to be, but I think that could help baseball too. That maybe it's a Saturday because I don't think there's a ton of great college games there. There's not a ton, so maybe that could help them as well down there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it'd be very exciting to have the Rangers. But we'll move on to the National League champions with the Diamondbacks and what they need to do to win the series. And number one, they need Zach Allen to be better. They have the bullpen. The bullpen has bailed them out. Has really bailed this team out because really outside of Merrill Kelly, and I know I can't remember that guy's name pitching Game 3. So it's a P, the rookie they have.
Yeah, Fott. It's like Fott.
Yeah, he pitched really well in Game 3 and it really helped him there too. But Gallen has got to be better. Zach Allen's got to be better in this series. If he's not better, there is no way the Diamondbacks win this series. He was not good in either start against the Phillies. Number 2, Walker's got to be better, and Carroll's got to hit like he did in Game 7. And obviously, Marte's got to stay hot. If Marte stays hot, they'll definitely have a chance because Ketel Marte's been hitting really well. But Christian Walker's got to start hitting, and Corbin Carroll's got to be more consistent. If those things need to happen, the Diamondbacks need a chance. And lastly, the bullpen has to continue to be great. How about that move getting Seawald? How about that move? 6 for 6 in saves. 6 for 6 in saves. Great move. I think it might be the biggest reason why they're here. He's not blown a save all postseason. This bullpen has been phenomenal. They've not blown a lead all postseason. So this bullpen has been phenomenal. I think it's obviously one of the biggest reasons why they're in the spot they're in. So those things are the things that need to happen if Arizona wants a chance to win their second World Series in franchise history. Yankee fans know very well their first World Series.
Yes. And I heard this is the exact same 7 games that this World Series was played, that it's the same dates as this World Series in 01. Like the 7 dates are the same. I don't know if that's coincidence.
That's crazy,
yeah. So yeah, maybe some repeat there for the Diamondbacks. But my three keys, I got a couple of the same as yours. Yeah, I'll start with that bullpen as you mentioned. Yeah, Seawald, that's been a huge addition, and probably thought with the Mariners he was gonna have a shot to pitch in the ALCS and World Series. You probably didn't think it was gonna happen with Arizona, but it has. He's been awesome. And Kevin Ginkel, he was awesome too there in Game 7. Shut the Phillies down in that lineup. He's those guys. Ryan Thompson as well, the former Ray, the side armor. He's been pretty good out of the bullpen as well. So that Arizona bullpen's been lights out there, and that was a lot of their problems early. Most of the season was their bullpen kind of struggled. They figured it out kind of in the month of September. Number 2 for me is play small ball continually. Game 7, move guys over. Steal bases. Like this team was second. They had the second most stolen bases in the sport this year. Continue to use that to your advantage. Put pressure on the pitching staff. Put pressure on the defense and make a play. Because errors happen, and they could kind of lead. You can have a guy in third with nobody out. After a single. So I think for Arizona, they've done a great job of that, because you saw it the Phillies when the home run ball went away, they struggled. So you got to be able to hit clutch spots and move guys over. So I think for Arizona, they got to continue to do that. Number 3, it's kind of the same one as your first one there, is Zach Allen. He's got to be that guy that, it looked like kind of the Cy Young candidate all year. Because you can argue he's probably their worst player during the, pitcher, batter. He's their worst player. You can argue that's in the NLCS against the Phillies. He's got to get back to being that lights out guy that we saw. It's going to be a tough lineup, no doubt, against this Texas team. And the one meeting he had against him, he went, and this was in late August, he went 6 innings. He gave up one run and 7 hits and 11 strikeouts. So that was back in August. He had some success against them. We'll see what happens this time. But they need Zach Allen to be that ace, to be able to knock off this Texas team that's got a great lineup that could kind of put up a lot of runs very quickly.
Absolutely. So I think this is going to be a competitive World Series. I'm going to take the Rangers in 6. I think the Rangers have a deeper rotation and a deeper lineup, and that's why I'm going to go with them to win their first World Series. I got the Rangers in 6. Who do you got winning it, Justin?
Same as you. I got the Rangers in 6. After what Arizona did, I thought they were going to swept. I can't, I shouldn't count them out, but I think Texas is a little bit better than them. I think with Bochy in that experience, I think they make up for what happened, back in what was that, 2012, the Josh Hamilton bomb of the night there. 2011. Just they absolutely collapsed there, and they're finally back here, and it's been a long time coming for them, and I think they get redemption from that, and they get their first one.
Yeah, it should be an interesting World Series. Should be a very, very interesting World Series. 2 teams we didn't expect to. I mean, one team we thought might get there, but the other one we definitely didn't expect to get there. So it should be a very, very interesting World Series. But that's going to wrap up this episode of Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. But we'll be back in 10 minutes to talk about, unfortunately, a crazy story in college football, the Michigan sign stealing scandal, the week in college football, and we'll give our NBA season preview. So make sure you tune in for that.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.